Your name?
Donald Bass.
Donald Bass, and you're from Rocky Hall?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are you cooking here?
Cooking cracklings, making
Okay.
lard.
Making lard.
Cook fish, fried fish, and chicken in it.
Right.
Melting the fat down off of a hog. And when it melts down and gets done, we'll run it through that lard press over there
Okay.
and put the lard inside the container to cool. And the lard will turn white like Crisco, and then the cracklings will be the residue we can eat with salt on, a little salt on, and sweet potato, stuff like that.
Now, how long does it normally take you to do this? About how long with this wood this way?
It takes a little longer this way because I ain't got a whole lot of fire right now. Just to increase the fire, go ahead and do it. So the more fire you got, the hotter it gets, the more shorter the time for melting the fat down. But if you want, I like to do it slow because I don't want to get in the rush. Don't want them to stick to the side of the pot.
Right.
So once you start getting hot, you got to stay here and work it.
And work it.
Man, I enjoyed this. I rode with somebody. He's got a bad knee.
Okay.
I was going to watch that come up.
Yeah.
I won't be able to.
It won't be much longer.
Look at now.
Yeah.
Man, you got to have a stir now.
So you
You
won't
got to
be
stir it now and start to stick a little bit.
you won't be much longer before you put it
I appreciate it.
Okay.
in the press.
That's right.
Okay.
About 30 more minutes.
About 30 more minutes. I'll be back and we'll
Okay.
talk to you then.
All right.
Your name?
Raymond Layton.
Raymond Layton. I'm Bill Garner. What are you cooking here?
It's Lacey cornbread.
Cornbread. So that's what she's mixing right there.
Yes, a little water, salt, cornmeal, a little onion pepper if you'd like onion in it, or onion.
And this
But
is
yes, sir.
this is the old way.
Do what?
This is the old way.
Yes,
Except
yes.
you've got gas instead of wood.
Well, if things went safe on me, if I could get my hands on some corn, I could definitely
do
make
it.
cornbread anyhow.
Right.
And I imagine back in the day, that's what they had for
Yeah.
bread. Flour was, it was a blessing to get, but back in probably the 1800s, they just didn't have flour. That was the bread.
Yes. And it looks like that enough people are really enjoying getting some of it too.
I think this is the hottest spot in the
I believe it is too.
grain.
I believe it is too.
I can't catch a break. But no, people like cornbread overall.
Yes, we do.
Have you had any?
Not yet. I've got my hands full. And my problem is, every time I come to something like this, I never have time to do anything but do this.
That's exactly right.
Well, it's just like you here. You don't get to go around and look at anything either.
No,
I'll talk to people and they say come to you.
well, I pretty much grew up around it, so, but hey, they were the days, they were the making of the country, and
Yeah.
those folks, the ones before us, they've done the groundwork to get us to where we are today. And,
That's exactly right.
and
And we were here the 23rd of last month, or April, when we had the plow day. And the problem nowadays is even people middle-aged, a lot of people middle-aged don't even know how this was done. So the younger children know nothing about it.
well,
And it's good to see this number of small children out.
yes, and the process, and this here is not even the surface of what
No, it's
is
not.
put into it.
No, it's not.
What you are looking at is where there was something before it got to the pot,
Yes,
and that's where the work come in at.
it certainly did.
And the women played as much of a part of it as men did, and here we are.
You know, even to go out here the way they tended to land in to take a mule.
Horse
If he was
manure,
if he could
fish.
get an acre or two in a day to plow, he was doing good.
Yes, and I heard my grandparents and my dad talk. I mean, fertilizer won't plentiful in that period, and that the herring off the river, that was a source of fertilizer. They would take those herring and put down the bottom of the corn rows and stuff, and that was their fertilizer, and horse manure and cow manure. But that was now. Today you can't eat a crop on top of manure,
No.
but they've done it for years and years and years.
Yes.
So if we got to go back to it, I would have to go back to it.
Might have to.
That's right.
The way
had
it's
to-
looking.
We had to do away with some of these regulations
You're
that Uncle
absolutely
Sam's got.
right. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you talking to me. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your name?
My name is Jag.
Jay?
I'm Carlos.
Okay. What do we have here from you? What
So-
have you guys done here?
So here is an assortment of different crafts and goods that we've put together, we've made over a period of time. Most of this stuff is what Carlos, my friend here, has made. Carlos, you can explain some of it.
For example, a lot of these are leather bracelets that I made myself. These are buttons that I actually made from tree branches, you know. Oh, yeah. These are handmade buttons. I actually sawed down some of the tree branches, drilled the holes in by hand. Oh, and these are just miscellaneous goose feathers that I've collected, you know, giving them all a nice wash. Perfect for use in crafts.
And these?
So these are blasting cap containers. These date back roughly to the time of period of World War II. These are the actual detonator boxes, and these are the blasting cap boxes, which would ignite the detonators. As I said, they date back to World War II-ish era. 1944 is the date written on them. Over here, you come this way. These are vintage soda bottles that I dug up. Most of them had the tops broken off of them, so I repurposed them into drinking glasses. Different assortment. We've got Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, Orange Crush. Over here, I have tumbled sea glass. I put in little jars just because people like them. They're good decorations. And over here, inspired by my Native American collection, I have arrowheads that I flint knapped myself.
We also have
So-
some reproduction copper ones here, because Native Americans also worked with European materials as well.
Very interesting here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's all down through here?
So over on this side is my display section. Everything on this table I found myself over a time period of 2 or 3 years. Starting off with the arrowheads, the Native American artifacts. These are arrowheads, of course. I'll hold 1 or 2 up, but there you go. This, for example, is a Guilford arrowhead. There's probably dozens and dozens of different types of arrowheads that the Native Americans used. But these are assortment of tools in here. This is Native American pottery. These are some scrapers here. And these are just cases of my best arrowheads that I've found over a period of time. Coming over this way, I have display boxes of colonial artifacts that I found. Most of these in here are buttons, and they date back to probably the late 1700s, early 1800s. This is a toy cap gun that I found. This here is my prized find. This is a Byzantine Empire coin. Dates back to roughly the 6th century. I dug this up in North Carolina, and I forgot to mention everything here I found using a metal detector. And the arrowheads came out of the field. Everything here is found in North Carolina, except my Civil War stuff, which I'll get to in a second. But this is, like I said, my Byzantine Empire coin. Dates back to the 6th century AD, probably 500 or 600 AD. And to put this in perspective for you, the Bible was still being written when this coin was found. When Columbus discovered America, this coin was over 1,000 years old. So moving over here is my Civil War artifact collection. All of this came out of Eastern Virginia, some Northern Virginia. These are what they call mini balls, and these were the bullets that were primarily used within the Civil War. Of course, there was different types of bullets that were used throughout the duration of the war. Through here I have an assortment of buttons that the officers wore during the Civil War. Buckles, just different types of bullets and stuff through here. And to give you a quick history on these, This is a bullet mini ball that was carved. And for a lot of people don't know, they carved bullets. The bullets are made out of lead, and lead is soft, so to pass the long hours at the camps, they would oftentimes carve the bullets just to pass boredom. They would make game pieces out of them. I have a checker piece here. We found a whole chess set one day out in the field. Then moving over here, last but not least, is a bunch of colonial artifacts that I found. Most of these are silver coins, flat buttons. All of this stuff dates anywhere between the early 1900s all the way back to the early 1700s. I have several coins in here that date back to the 1700s. Several other coins that you may be more familiar with. We have Rosie dimes. I got Walking Liberty half dollars. And pretty much just an assortment of different buttons and buckles and pretty much anything cool you can think of that you would find with a metal detector between those time periods. So, and that's the majority of my collection, and that's pretty much it.
Let me change sides right here. Now, you're a young man.
Yes, sir.
Please, Cameron. What got you interested in this?
So being interested in this was primarily my grandfather, and I had a few friends of mine. I was probably 6, 7 years old when I got my first metal detector, and my friend in, I think, preschool or kindergarten had a metal detector. We went to the beach one day, and he started finding coins and a different assortment of jewelry and stuff, and so I thought that was really cool. And so I got my first detector, nothing special, it was real small. It couldn't have been more than $25 at the store. But my parents got that for me, and I think after 3 or 4 years they got me one a little bit better, and I used that detector for 7 or 8 years. Found a lot of stuff with it, so then I upgraded to the top-notch metal detectors. I joined a metal detecting club, formerly known as Triangle Relic Recovery. It's known as Wake County Metal Detecting. They're on Facebook. You can go on there and find them on Facebook. Club President Sean, we meet the 3rd Friday of every month. We do group digs. We have guest diggers or guest speakers in there, and we have a group of people just like me who go out and they present stuff better than what I've found out here. So it's a really cool experience, a really cool group of people to be associated with, and really just an honor and a blessing to be able to have made it this far and gotten lucky with the stuff that I've found.
Well, now, how did you acquire all this knowledge about all this?
So most of my knowledge came from the club. There's a lot of older and more knowledgeable people who've been doing this or partaking in this hobby since the 80s. So they're a lot more knowledgeable on this stuff than I am, and so they help educate me. And for young people who like to do this, they could probably help educate them as well. So
very interesting.
Yes, sir.
And it's good to see somebody young like yourself interested in something like this.
If you got any more questions for me, sure, let me know.
No, I think that's all.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. Where do you live?
I'm from Raleigh.
Kind of tight. So turn it forward. No, other way. There you go. Keep it going.
Both hands.
Keep it going. You got it.
Natalie, both hands.
You know what, Natalie? If you see how I'm standing right here, come stand right here.
Pay attention to her, Natalie.
And grab it and turn it just like that. Turn. There you go, that way.
Keep turning.
There you go.
Keep
going.
Keep going. You still got half of it.
Farm kid, you had to be tough.